Hello, and welcome to the 157th episode of Scripture in a Year, hosted by Saints Peter and Paul Orthodox Church in the Albanian Archdiocese of the OCA. Today's reading is from the book of Proverbs, chapters 1 through 4. The Proverbs of Solomon the son of David, who reigned in Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, and to understand words of discernment, to receive both subtlety of words, and to understand true righteousness and upright judgment, so as to give astuteness to the simple, and both perception and understanding to a young man. For a wise man who hears these things will be wiser, and the man of understanding will gain direction. He will understand both a parable and a hidden saying, both wise words and riddles. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and there is good understanding in all who practice it. And godliness towards God is the beginning of perception, but the ungodly despise wisdom and instruction. Hear, my son, the instruction of your father, and do not reject the laws of your mother. For you will receive a crown of grace on your head and a gold chain around your neck. My son, do not let the ungodly lead you astray, and do not consent if they invite you, saying, Come with us, take part in bloodshed, and let us hide a righteous man in the earth unjustly, and let us swallow him, just as Hades does the living, and let us take away his remembrance from the earth. And let us seize his valuable property, and let us fill our houses with spoils. Cast your lot with us, and let us acquire a common bag. Let there be one purse for us. Do not walk in the way with them, but turn away your foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. For nets are not spread before birds for no reasons. For those who participate in murder store up evils for themselves, and evil is the destruction of lawless men. These are the ways of all who accomplish lawless things, for they take away their own soul in ungodliness. Wisdom sings in the streets, she moves boldly in the squares, she preaches on high city walls, and sits at the gates of lords. At the gates of a city she boldly says, So long a time as the simple hold fast to righteousness, they shall not be ashamed. But those without discernment, since they are desirous of arrogance, and are become ungodly, they hate perception, and they are become subject to reproofs. Behold, I shall bring forth upon you the utterance of my breath, and I shall teach you my word. Since I called, but you did not obey, and spoke at length, but you paid no attention, but made my counsels invalid, and were not persuaded by my reproofs, consequently, I will laugh at your annihilation, and will exult when ruin comes to you. And when confusion reaches you unawares, and overthrow comes like a whirlwind, and when tribulation and anguish come to you, and when destruction comes upon you. For it shall be, when you shall call upon me, I will not listen to you. Evil men will seek me, but not find me, for they hate wisdom, and choose not the fear of the Lord. Neither do they wish to follow my counsels, but despise my reproofs. Therefore they shall eat the fruits of their own way, and be filled with their own ungodliness. For since they wrong the simple, they shall be killed, and a close examination shall destroy the ungodly. But he who obeys me shall dwell in hope, and shall be at rest without fear from every evil. My son, if you receive the words of my commandment, and hide them within yourself, your ear will be obedient to wisdom, and you will incline your heart to understanding. You will entrust it to your son as an admonition. For if he calls upon wisdom, and you utter your voice for understanding, if you seek perception with a strong voice, if you seek her as silver, and search for her as treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his face come knowledge and understanding. And he stores up salvation for the upright, and he will protect their journey, that he might guard the ways of his ordinances, and he will carefully guard the way of those who reverence him. Then you will understand righteousness and judgment, and accomplish successfully every good path for yourself. For if wisdom comes into your mind, and the perception in your soul seems to be good, then good counsel will guard you, and holy thinking will keep you, that it might rescue you from an evil way, and from a man who speaks nothing trustworthy. Woe to those who forsake the paths of uprightness, that they may walk in the ways of darkness, who delight in evils and rejoice in evil perversion, whose ways are crooked and their paths devious, so they may cause you to be far from the straight way, and a stranger to righteous judgment. My son, do not lay hold of evil counsel, nor forsake the teaching of your youth, and forget the divine covenant, for it establishes its house with death, and its paths beside Hades with the dead. All who journey there do not return, nor do they lay hold of straight paths, for they do not comprehend the years of life. For if they walked in good paths, they would find the smooth paths of righteousness. The inhabitants of the land will be good, and the simple will be left in it. For the upright will dwell in the land, and the holy will be left in it. The ways of the ungodly shall perish from the land, and the lawless shall be banished from it. My son, do not forget my laws, but let your heart keep my words. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Do not let almsgiving and faithfulness forsake you, but hang them upon your neck, and you will find grace and provide good things before the Lord and men. Trust in God with all your heart, and do not exalt your own wisdom. In all your ways know wisdom, that she may cut a straight path for you, and your foot will not stumble. Do not rely on your own discernment, but fear God, and turn away from every evil. Then there shall be healing for your body and care for your bones. Honor the Lord from your righteous labors, and offer him the firstfruits from the fruits of your righteousness. That your storehouses may be filled with abundance of grain, and your winepresses may gush with wine. My son, do not despise the instruction of the Lord, neither grow weary under his reproof. For whom the Lord loves, he instructs, and chastises every son he receives. Blessed is a man who finds wisdom, and a mortal who sees discernment. For the profits gained from wisdom are better than the treasures of gold and silver, and wisdom is more valuable than precious stones. And nothing evil will withstand her. She is well known to all who come near her, and no honor is worthy of her. For length of days and years of life are in her right hand, and in her left hand are riches and glory. Righteousness proceeds from her mouth, and she carries law and mercy upon her tongue. Her ways are good ways, and all her paths are in peace. She is a tree of life for all who cleave to her, and she is security for those who lean upon her as upon the Lord. God by wisdom founded the earth, and prepared the heavens with discernment. With perception the depths were broken up, and the clouds flowed with dew. My son, do not be careless, but keep my counsel in thinking, that your soul may live, and grace may be around your neck. And there will be healing for your flesh, and care for your bones, that you may walk confidently in peace all your ways, and your foot may not stumble. For if you sit down, you will be without fear, and if you lie down, your sleep will be pleasant. And do not be afraid of intimidation when it comes upon you, nor of the attack of the ungodly when it comes at you. For the Lord will be over all your ways. He will plant your feet firmly, that you may not be shaken. Do not withhold doing good to the needy, when you may give a helping hand. Do not say, when you are able to do good, "Come back tomorrow, and I will give you something." For you do not know what the next day will bring forth. Do not devise evil things against your friend, who dwells beside you and trusts in you. Do not be ready to quarrel with a man in vain, lest he do you some harm. Do not incur the reproach of evil men, neither seek their ways. For every lawless man is unclean before the Lord, and he does not sit among the righteous. The curse of God is in the houses of the ungodly, but he blesses the dwellings of the righteous. The Lord opposes the arrogant, but he gives grace to the humble. The wise shall inherit glory, but the ungodly exalt dishonor. Hear, my children, the instruction of your father, and pay attention, that you might know his thinking. For I offer a good gift to you. Do not forsake my law, for I was a son, and I was obedient to my father, and beloved in the presence of my mother, who taught me, saying, "Let our word become firmly planted in your heart. Guard our commandments, do not forget them. Neither disregard the word of my mouth, nor forsake it, and it shall cleave to you. Love it, and it will keep you. Secure it, and it shall exalt you. Honor it, that it may embrace you, and give your head a crown of graces, and cover you with a crown of delight." Hear me, my son, and receive my words, and the years of your life shall be increased, that many ways of life may be yours. For I teach you the ways of wisdom, and set you on upright paths. For if you walk, your steps shall not be confined, and if you run, you will not grow weary. Lay hold of my instruction, do not let go, but guard it for yourself as your life. Do not go in the ways of the ungodly, neither be zealous for the ways of the lawless. In whatever place they encamp, do not go there, but turn aside from them and pass by, for they cannot sleep unless they do evil. Their sleep is taken away, and they do not rest, for they feed on the bread of ungodliness, and they are drunk with the wine of lawlessness. But the ways of the righteous shine like a light. They go before and give light until full daylight. But the ways of the ungodly are dark. They do not know how they stumble. My son, give heed to my word, and incline your ear to my words, that your fountains may not fail you. Guard them in your heart. For they are life to those who find them, and healing for all their flesh. Keep your heart with watchfulness, for from these words are the issues of life. Put away from yourself a crooked mouth, and remove unrighteous lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight forward, and let your eyelids assent to righteous things. Make straight paths for your feet, and direct your ways aright. Do not turn aside to the right or to the left, but turn your foot from an evil way. For God knows the ways on the right hand, but those on the left are perverse. And he shall make your paths straight, and guide your steps in peace. Here ends the reading for today.